Hello and welcome to Better Body Movement. This class is designed to help you start feeling well.
I have less pain, literally eliminate that pain.
I just feel better.
I can tell that my posture is changing.
Bright light in the day when we've done our workouts online.
Makes me feel so good about myself.
The upper part of the leg is made up of 4 different muscles known as the quadricep. The quadricep is made up of the rectus femoris, being the most superficial muscle. The vastus medialis runs on the inside, the vastus lateralis runs on the outside, and the vastus intermedius runs deep directly under the rectus femoris. The 3 deepest muscles connect on the femur and just above the knee, whereas the rectus femoris passes from the ilium all the way over the kneecap into the tibia, passing 2 joints. Using a foam roller, work the front of the quad and into the side of the TFL band with the toe and knee against the wall. Start rolling the foam roller down the quad with your hands. If you feel a tender or tight spot, hold in that position and quickly press the roller back and forth over the tight spot. Gradually work your way down the entire front of the leg toward the knee. Continue to change positions, working through the front of the quad. When you feel a tender spot, maintain pressure and quickly jostle the massage stick up and down. Then transition to the side of the leg. With the foot against the wall, press the roller in the same manner, pushing it down the side of the leg. Try to relax the leg while the foam roller works into the muscle tissue. I find this to be the best release for my IT bands. Another way to work the quadriceps and the IT band is using the massage stick. Allowing the leg to relax, start with firm pressure just above the kneecap, dragging the pressure all the way up towards the hip. Change the position slightly and continue to pull up the quad. When you feel a tender spot that feels like a knot, you're going to apply pressure and shake it back and forth. Notice the rollers are not actually moving. The pressure just stays in one spot. When you finish about 30 pulses, continue the pull up the leg. If you find there's too much tension in the quad, straighten the knee and allow the leg to fully relax. This can help you get deeper into the tissue. Again, each time you find a tender spot, continue to relax into it. Create quick movements through the tender spots and finish with a pull up towards the hip. A more intense way to work the quads is laying in a plank position using a foam roller. In this position, you can roll up and down the quads looking for the most tender part. Once you find a tender part, bend the knees and then relax down slowly. Then flex into the foam roller by straightening your knees tight. After you complete 7 to 10 repetitions there, draw circles with the feet, both clockwise and counterclockwise. Relax and breathe, adjusting as necessary, making sure you relax the quad. The final and most intense work we're going to do is with the lacrosse ball. Laying on your stomach, use a book under the lacrosse ball. Place the lacrosse ball directly on the quadricep. You may have to move the ball around to find a few different spots that are tender. When you find the most tender ones, bend the knee, allowing the muscle to stretch, and then straighten the knee, contracting the muscle over top of the lacrosse ball. Continue this for 7 to 10 repetitions. When you find a spot that needs extra attention, get yourself a little more comfortable, allowing your head to rest. Change positions by rotating the leg in or out based on the type of work that you need. To work more medially, simply roll your body over, exposing more of the inside of the leg. The upper part of the leg is made up of 4 different muscles known as the quadricep. The quadricep is made up of the rectus femoris, being the most superficial muscle. The vastus medialis runs on the inside, the vastus lateralis runs on the outside, and the vastus intermedius runs deep directly under the rectus femoris. The 3 deepest muscles connect on the femur and just above the knee, whereas the rectus femoris passes from the ilium all the way over the kneecap into the tibia, passing 2 joints. Using a foam roller, work the front of the quad and into the side of the TFL band with the toe and knee against the wall. Start rolling the foam roller down the quad with your hands. If you feel a tender or tight spot, hold in that position and quickly press the roller back and forth over the tight spot. Gradually work your way down the entire front of the leg toward the knee. Continue to change positions, working through the front of the quad. When you feel a tender spot, maintain pressure and quickly jostle the massage stick up and down. Then transition to the side of the leg. With the foot against the wall, press the roller in the same manner, pushing it down the side of the leg. Try to relax the leg while the foam roller works into the muscle tissue. I find this to be the best release for my IT bands. Another way to work the quadriceps and the IT band is using the massage stick. Allowing the leg to relax, start with firm pressure just above the kneecap, dragging the pressure all the way up towards the hip. Change the position slightly and continue to pull up the quad. When you feel a tender spot that feels like a knot, you're going to apply pressure and shake it back and forth. Notice the rollers are not actually moving. The pressure just stays in one spot. When you finish about 30 pulses, continue the pull up the leg. If you find there's too much tension in the quad, straighten the knee and allow the leg to fully relax. This can help you get deeper into the tissue. Again, each time you find a tender spot, continue to relax into it. Create quick movements through the tender spots and finish with a pull up towards the hip. A more intense way to work the quads is laying in a plank position using a foam roller. In this position, you can roll up and down the quads looking for the most tender part. Once you find a tender part, bend the knees and then relax down slowly. Then flex into the foam roller by straightening your knees tight. After you complete 7 to 10 repetitions there, draw circles with the feet, both clockwise and counterclockwise. Relax and breathe, adjusting as necessary, making sure you relax the quad. The final and most intense work we're going to do is with the lacrosse ball. Laying on your stomach, use a book under the lacrosse ball. Place the lacrosse ball directly on the quadricep. You may have to move the ball around to find a few different spots that are tender. When you find the most tender ones, bend the knee, allowing the muscle to stretch, and then straighten the knee, contracting the muscle over top of the lacrosse ball. Continue this for 7 to 10 repetitions. When you find a spot that needs extra attention, get yourself a little more comfortable, allowing your head to rest. Change positions by rotating the leg in or out based on the type of work that you need. To work more medially, simply roll your body over, exposing more of the inside of the leg.
All right, good morning. As you can tell, our verse of the day is much bigger than usual, so we'll get to that soon enough. But our iDedicates, we're going to pray for Lori's mom doing dialysis, Ethan with his liver and bile duct cancer, my friend's wife with breast cancer, Sky as she continues to transition off of medications and build strength. And then Kira is done with her radiation, but pray for strength over her. And Jim, Kira's dad, with pancreatic cancer is continuing to decline. So be just praying for those two, especially Kira, because that's got to be a tough thing to go through. So our verse of the day, for they disciplined us for a short time as it seemed best to them. But he disciplines us for our good, that we may share his holiness. For the moment, all discipline seems painful rather than pleasant, but later it yields the peaceful fruit of righteousness to those who have been trained by it. Hebrews 12, 10, 11. Obviously, this is speaking on a spiritual level, but I like to see, there are... we can implement this in different ways, right? So we can also talk about the physical aspect of our lives too. This holds true, that to be disciplined is not fun or good or, it doesn't feel good to be disciplined in our exercise routines, right? But later, it's going to yield a fruit, right? If we're consistent, if we follow through and we're disciplined enough to do what we need to do to take care of our bodies, there is fruit that comes from that, right? So there's something to be said as far as discipline. And obviously this is a different kind of discipline that we're talking about here, but it just makes me think of that. So thought I would share it. Let's go ahead and jump. Yes, Carol, I can. We're going to add Jane to our prayer list. That's Carol's friend who's dying of brain cancer. Of course, we would love to pray for you and her. Yes, Carol, I love seeing you online. It's fantastic. Okay, so I got it on there, and I'll put it up on our top board too, Jane. Awesome. Okay, let's go ahead and jump in on our workout now. So remember, as we get started, right, we're going to show you all the tools that you need to succeed. If you don't have these tools, that's okay. We can still implement different ways of doing this. And as always, ask if you have any questions. That's the whole point of working with you live, is so you can pick my brain a little bit and I can help you figure out some of the best or better ways that you could be moving. Okay. Good arm circles. We're just going to get those shoulders warmed up. Remember, everything that we start with is connecting the brain to your muscle tissue, right? So we want the brain to connect even through the shoulders, right? Pull those up and around and move them. The cancer is inoperable and she has weeks to live, and she's a little younger than me. Well, Carol, I'm really sorry for that. That's always a difficult thing to go through with anyone that you know. So we'll also be praying for you, Carol. All right, good internal, external rotations. Remember, we're focused on the shoulder blades, going through their movements, right? So make sure we get those shoulder blades moving back and forth. Okay, then we go into the march. Just get those legs working. Again, remember, it's just about getting that brain connected. What's your butt doing right now? Are we passively going through these motions? Are we actively trying to hold our posture well? and get our butt cheeks firing, our legs working. Okay, good leg swings. Remember, with leg swings too, some of you do not want your hips rotating under your spine. Okay, so if you have spondylolisthesis, spondylitis, any sort of, geez, I can't think of words today. Degradation? No. How does that work? If you got a crappy low back, you don't want your hip rolling underneath your ribs. How about that?
I love your side.
That's one of my scientific terms. Crappy. Okay, but we do want that hip joint to be what's going through range of motion, right? So you want the actual ball and socket to be kind of lubricating itself through this. That's the degeneration.
Very good.
Disc degeneration. See, I could get there eventually. Okay, good hip flexor stretch. That just simply means back knee straight, tuck your butt. And you should feel the front of that hip getting a nice little stretch. 1, 2, 3. Pull that leg up and switch. Straight back leg. Stretch it out. And hey, a big shout out to Carol. I think it's really cool. She is actually helping to serve the supper at Vacation Bible School this week. I found that out because I took Gabby to their Vacation Bible School down at Zion, and she was there serving. So good on you, Carol. That is awesome. Using your strength to serve. That's what we want to say, at least. So that's awesome. All right, very good. Almost there.
3, 2, 1. Get ready to squat.
All right, squats. Remember, start with ripping the floor apart, right? So you're just standing up, rip the floor apart. There should be outward pressure through your feet,
3,
but keep your feet
2,
flat. Don't roll
1.
your feet
Squat.
so your toes come up. Glue your feet to the floor, rip the floor apart, then go through your motion. What that should do is keep your knees apart. If you go to sit down and your knees drop in towards each other, they try to kiss each other, that's really, really bad. We need those two to break up and get those knees apart. Okay? Drive up
That's
by
halfway.
squeezing your butt cheeks really tight. And again, think back to your Monday and Tuesday routines. Right? Monday is core. We still want to brace core today. And Tuesday was all about shoulder position. We
3,
still want to hold our
2,
shoulder position.
1.
Okay?
Transition to single leg step down.
So now we really are thinking through butt, belly, bra strap. Every single one of them should be firing and working.
3, 2,
Okay, single leg step
1.
down.
Single leg step down.
Remember, as you do these, you should still be firing your butt backwards. So whether you're doing a single leg step down like me, or if you're doing it like Jenny, holding on to something, that's fine. Make sure your first action is butt back, okay? RDLs all the way over
That's
like Jacob
halfway.
there. That straight body, you're not just bending over, you're actually reaching back, okay? You want your hip to be reaching back through that motion. Okay, that's where you're going to see more of your hamstring get a lot tighter. I've had people say, well, I don't know why that
3,
one's advanced. It's
2,
not that hard.
1.
Typically,
Switch
it's because you're
sides.
not actually moving through it the appropriate way. Okay, so remember, RDLs all the way on the end over there, you're reaching your foot back to the wall behind you
3,
as far as you can.
2, 1. Single leg step down.
And again, based on the style of training that you need, if you need to work balance, you would just go a little bit slower, maybe not as big of range of motion, and make sure you can balance through it. If you're trying to build strength and really challenge the muscle tissue, I'm okay with you taking away that balance factor by holding
That's
on to
halfway.
something just so you can get a deeper stretch out of the hamstring and glutes, right? Then you squeeze up nice and tall. Again, penny between the butt cheeks. You should be crushing pennies all day long.
3, 2, 1. Transition to good morning.
All right, good morning. Okay, again, butt to the wall behind you. That is a literal thing that you can do. right? Or even a
3,
chair, right?
2,
Stand
1.
Stand away
Good
from your
morning.
chair, push your butt back to the chair, and then stand up. Okay? But again, we maintain Mondays and Tuesdays training. Core is tight through the entire hinge, right? And then your shoulder blades stay in place. And that should keep your upper lever
That's halfway.
your spine all in alignment while you go through this movement, right? Then you should feel those hamstrings get really tight, especially if you think push your belly button to the floor.
Three, 2, 1. Transition to monster walk.
Okay, get ready for the monster wall. Okay, you can put a band at your ankles. That's going to be more difficult, or a band at your
3,
knees.
2, 1. Monster walk.
And remember, if your knees naturally kind of go towards each other, you're more knock-kneed, put the band at your knees. I want you to practice trying to push out and keep those knees kind of over the feet as you walk through this.
That's halfway.
And again, the more time you spend on one foot, the more challenge you're going to get in your hips, right? So if you just quickly put your foot down, you're losing quite a bit of the contraction, right? Because you'll notice if you transition to one leg, especially if you put your hands on your
3,
glutes,
2,
the upper part of your
1.
glutes, you should feel
Transition
those
to VMO
contract
left.
against that, right? So squeeze tight. Here we go. Good VMOs.
3, 2, 1. VMO left.
Okay, so again with VMOs, like always, we're going to straighten the knee as tight as we possibly can. Get the quad to fire. Once that's tight, pull the knee or the toes up to the knees, right? And really extend. You're thinking hyperextend your knee as much as you can,
That's
squeezing
halfway.
the top of that quad. And 2, if you have one of those hip loop bands that we used for the monster walks, you can also connect that to the bottom of, or the ankle of the leg that you extend, and then pull back with your opposite
3,
foot. Right?
2,
It's going to create
1.
a tension
Transition
then
to
to
VMO
force your
right.
quad to work harder. Okay, other side. Again, you're just doing what you're able to do.
3, 2, 1. VMO right.
Good contraction. Squeeze that leg tight. Pull the toes up and push that heel away as far as you can.
That's halfway.
Good. Doing your best all the way through. And your best should still include core and shoulders, right? We're sitting tall in our chairs if we're sitting. Always when we're
3,
standing.
2, 1. Transition to hamstring curl.
Very good. Hamstring curls. Remember, as you pull, bend those knees and sit
3,
tall.
2, 1. Hamstring.
I want you to drive those heels really hard towards the butt. Right? If you're pulling on a foam roller, I want you to pull hard, hard, hard. Think that you're going to break that foam roller. If you happen to be laying on the floor and you're trying to do a bridge in this position, you're just continuously pulling
That's
those
halfway.
heels towards the butt. Right? Drive, drive, drive. Good. Awesome work.
3, 2, 1. Long rest.
Good. All right, go ahead and get a drink. We have 3 more rounds, so we want to continuously try to improve or increase the amount of work that we're doing, okay? So however you need to do that, that's fine, whether it's through repetitions or resistance, that's okay, right? So with squats, maybe add 5 pounds in each hand, okay? Okay, do an extra 10 pounds in your squat. So whatever you have, use those. Or bands, okay? You can do a front rack or a front squat with a band that's under your feet and on your hands, right? So try your best.
3, 2, 1. Get ready to squat.
And here we go. Rip the floor apart.
3, 2, 1. Squat.
I would say super advanced would be a band around your knees and holding a resistance, right? But all the external application of force, right? So a band around the knees, a band that you hold on
That's
to,
halfway.
weights that load your body. All those are meant to do is to get you to focus on the primary movers more, right? So a lot of times we might add resistance or weight and have really crappy form. Well, that's not any good because you're not going to actually train the positions you need to.
3, 2, 1. Transition to single leg step down.
Okay, single leg step down works. So you can also do lunges. That one's not on here, but just put 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, and think ride the elevator as far
3,
down as you can,
2,
and then stand up.
1.
Right? Use
Single
both
leg step
legs.
down.
It's one of the hardest parts of the lunge. We want to load one leg more by leaning forward, maybe even bracing our hand on our front knee. I want you to work on how deep can you go riding the elevator and use both legs to kick straight.
That's
Your
halfway.
absolute best all the way through. Good. Again, core compression. You have to keep this
3,
tight.
2, 1. Switch sides.
And here we go. Switch sides.
Three, 2, 1. Single leg step down. That's halfway.
Good work. Again, recheck the core, check those shoulders, make sure you're pinching down and back. Actually, you should feel that after yesterday's workout a little bit.
3,
Oh yeah,
2,
those got some work.
1. Transition to good morning.
All right, good mornings. Okay, remember, push your butt to the wall behind you. So if you need to, actually go
2, 1.
8-9 inches
Good
away
morning.
from the wall and try to push your butt back, keeping your legs straight. Okay, while we do that, again, core is tight, shoulder blades are down and back. Okay, then squeeze up. Your absolute best.
That's halfway.
Squeeze up all the way tall. When you get tall, your butt should be tucked underneath and pinch that penny.
Three, 2, 1. Transition to monster walk.
You guys really should have loaded bank accounts with all the pennies we pinch. That's
3,
for sure.
2, 1. Monster walk.
All right, monster walks. Good squeeze through the hips. Again, if you need to, put your hands kind of up on the top of your butt cheeks. You should feel that firing as you move side to side, right? So whether you're doing the side steps,
That's halfway.
doing monster walks forward and backwards, right? You should feel your glutes getting tight through the movement. Right? And again, the more you balance on one leg, right, trying to go slowly through the movement, the more you're going
3,
to challenge that
2,
muscle.
1. Transition to VMO
Awesome.
left.
VMO. Here we go. Good,
3,
tight squeeze.
2, 1. VMO left.
Good. Lois, I like seeing how you get that primer going before you even start. Just kind of get the kneecap moving. That's something that you guys can do, is just make sure that muscle tissue's firing through it. Then make it more difficult and challenge through the exercise rather than maybe squeezing really hard without even paying attention to how your body's moving. Right? Get things firing, get them active, get that quad tight. Again, core, belly whack, shoulders set in place. Should be a lot to think about.
3, 2, 1. Transition to VMO right.
Good. Good, good, good. Core
3,
tight, shoulders
2,
down, and
1.
back.
VMO right.
Good, good, good. All the way through, ladies. Doing your best. Tight squeeze. Pull those toes up. Push the heel away.
That's
Right?
halfway.
If you want to, you can even change position. Think from the knee, not necessarily the ankle, but the knee. Roll your kneecap out. Roll it in. See what that feels like up in that quadricep.
3,
Very good work.
2, 1. Transition to hamstring curl.
All right, good hamstring pull. Again, sit tall, core compressed, shoulders down and back. Heels to the butt. I want you breaking through.
3, 2, 1. Hamstring.
Good, good, good. Core compressed. Squeeze hard. Your best all the way through. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Again, tall. Shoulders.
That's halfway.
Reset. Right? When I say shoulders, I mean go ahead and pinch those shoulder blades down to the bra strap. Tight squeeze, tight squeeze.
3, 2, 1. Long rest.
Awesome. Hey, very, very good work. What do we got? 2 more? Halfway through. So remember, do your best through each movement, and your best simply is connecting your brain to the muscle tissue as we go through the movements. Okay? We need to be able to get that to be more connected, a stronger built highway for the communication of the brain to the muscle tissue through movement. Okay?
Three, 2, 1. Get ready to squat. Three, 2, 1. Squat.
She knows how to do a two-place sit once too.
Good, good, good. Remember, stand tall, squeeze those butt cheeks. You're ripping that floor apart.
That's halfway.
Okay.
I ate cereal.
Very good.
3, 2, 1. Transition to single leg step down.
Okay, again, you can do lunges here if that's what challenges you and you need to get in. Okay? Forcing yourself to stay tall and ride the
3,
elevator.
2, 1. Single leg step down.
Remember, RDLs, reach the foot to the wall behind you, right? Reach, 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 reach. Get really far and take that hip way back and then squeeze through your hamstring and your butt. So what that means is you're driving like someone's holding onto your foot behind you and you're gonna
That's
pull your
halfway.
foot out of that pressure, right? So you reach, they're pulling your leg, and stand up. They might be pulling your leg, but it's no laughing matter. Good. Compress. Core tight, shoulders
3,
in place.
2, 1. Switch sides.
Good, other side. Awesome work.
3, 2, 1. Single leg step down.
All right, ladies, pop quiz. What's the most important thing to pinch on leg day? Your butt. Pinch that penny. Through each
That's
movement,
halfway.
right? Butt cheeks are squeezing tight. Core is compressed. Like someone's gonna smack you in the stomach. Get that nice and tight. Right? Good squeeze. Firm.
3, 2, 1. Transition to good morning.
Awesome. Good mornings. With good mornings, again, your hips go behind you. Hips behind.
3,
It's kind of the same
2,
thing. Push
1.
back.
Good
Right.
morning.
Reach for the wall behind you, right? So for me, the edge of my camera here, the screen, is my wall. I want to drive my butt back towards that wall. Once I get there, squeeze up. Right? So most of your energy should be spent on getting
That's
the belly
halfway.
button towards the floor. You're hinging the hips, right? So I'm not just letting my spine go, right? Like I can reach the floor, but that's not what I want here. I don't want my spine to go through a great amount of flexion. I want to hinge, okay? Just like a
3,
door,
2,
hinging at
1.
the hips.
Transition to monster walk.
Awesome. Monster walks. Okay, get set up, ready to go. Core compressed,
3,
shoulders
2,
down. Back,
1.
squeeze
Monster
tight.
walk.
Press hard. Shoulders again, pinch that bra strap. Try to be grabbing that penny. Again, the more time you balance on one
That's
leg,
halfway.
the more challenge you're going to get out of those hips. Squeeze hard. Again, balance especially is going to come from your core being braced and your shoulders being set in place. If we don't have those two things set, it's going to be really difficult for the
3,
hips to try to
2,
hold us in a
1.
position.
Transition to VMO left.
Good. VMOs. And hammies.
Three, 2, 1. VMO left.
Okay, again, get the knee straight, lock it in place, pull the toes up towards the knee, and push that heel away as hard as you can. It's going to help you get that quad nice and tight. Squeeze.
That's
Press into
halfway.
it all the way. Your absolute best. Squeeze. Nice and tight.
3, 2, 1. Transition to VMO right.
Okay, other leg. Again, prime that knee a little bit. Get that kneecap dancing.
3,
Squeeze
2,
and lock it tight.
1.
Then lift your leg.
VMO right.
So if you sit on the edge of your chair, you can actually experience even more of this because you're going to straighten your leg all the way out. Once it's locked in place, try to lift. And you're really going to feel that quad work even harder. Okay, again, press
That's
hard.
halfway.
Core tight, shoulders down and back. Still worried about our posture. All the time. Okay, squeeze firm.
3, 2, 1. Transition to hamstring curl.
Right, hammy curls. Remember, pull hard. Drive those heels, trying to bend the knees.
3, 2, 1. Hamstring.
So you see how we do that? We move from one side of the leg, right, with the MOs, getting the quad working, to, oh, now we're working the back of the legs. Squeeze hard. And again, sit up tall, drive those heels, pulling all the way through. Drive hard, hard,
That's
hard.
halfway.
Very good. Awesome. Very good work.
3, 2, 1. Long rest.
Awesome. All right, only one more round to go. So do your best through each movement. Okay, again, making sure the brain stays connected to the shoulder blades and core. And then we're pinching those pennies all through the last round. Okay, do your absolute best.
Three, 2, 1. Get ready to squat.
Alrighty. Rip the floor apart. Think you're standing on a newspaper and you're about to just rip
3,
it straight down the
2,
middle with your feet.
1. Squat.
Okay. Drive through that. Squeeze those butt cheeks together. Really, really tight.
That's halfway.
Awesome, awesome. Again, recompress that core. You're holding your spine strong. Right? That's the whole point of core day, is that this can be maintained, right, through all of these hip movements.
3,
So whether it's monster
2,
walks or squats,
1.
doesn't matter.
Transition to single leg step down.
Brace that spine. Okay, single leg step down.
3, 2, 1. Single leg step down.
Again, tall, tight core, compress, shoulder blades down and back. Squeeze firm through.
That's halfway.
Very good. Squeeze tight.
3, 2, 1. Switch sides.
Right. Other leg. Again, sit those hips back if
3,
you're doing that
2,
seated
1.
sitting motion.
Single leg step down.
Make sure you compress that core, right? Recheck it. So every time you stand up, that's what I would do. As soon as you get up, check the core, check your shoulder blades, right? Sit back down, come up. You should be nice and tall. Squeeze, squeeze.
That's halfway.
Down, up, squeeze, squeeze. Okay? Continuing to work through it, challenging yourself. You're probably not going to see the gains that you should see.
3,
Okay.
2, 1. Transition to good morning.
Good mornings. Again, hinging directly at the hips. Everything else is straight. So your legs are straight and your spine is straight. Just
3,
simply right
2,
down here,
1.
pushing
Good
your
morning.
butt backwards. Okay? That's the whole point. Start with just drive the butt and then sink into it as much as you can, trying to balance. And when the hamstrings are tight, squeeze up.
That's halfway.
Again, crush those pennies.
Three, two, one. Transition to monster walk.
Okay, monster walks. And remember, the more time you spend on one foot, the more challenge you'll get.
2, 1. Monster walk.
Grasp that core nice and tall. Squeeze through it. Still core compress, shoulders down and back.
That's halfway.
It's pretty incredible this morning. Everyone in our house was still in bed at 8:15. That rarely
3,
happens.
2, 1. Transition to VMO left.
Well, it doesn't bode well for summer school that starts at 8. Mike ended up being like 35 minutes late. I was getting ready for the day, and Ashley's like, crap, Micah's got summer school.
1.
Whoops.
VMO left.
I said, well, just tell the teacher you don't wake a sleeping bear. Yeah.
That's halfway.
Yep. Good, good, good. Lock that knee. Flex.
3,
Push the
2,
heel.
1. Transition to VMO right.
And actually, I said, just so the kids can't argue, I set an alarm on my phone for everything that we need to get done. So it's like 4 alarms over the course
3,
of the hour it
2,
takes to get ready for bed.
1. VMO right.
So every 15 minutes. Okay, first 15 minutes, you should have your teeth brushed, your jammies on. Next 15 minutes, you're going to have reading time by yourself. And we're going to go another 15 minutes where it's, you know, each room gets mom or dad for 15 minutes. And then as soon as we hit 8:30, done.
That's halfway.
Mesa, yeah, actually a week ago.
Okay.
A week ago. So she's been with us for a week already. She, lovely. Lovely. She's absolutely fantastic. She turned Sunday into Sushi Sunday
3,
at our house.
2,
I love
1.
it.
Transition to hamstring curl.
So she is Muslim, so she eats kosher basically. And so a lot of fish. And I am a huge
3,
fish and seafood
2,
fan. But
1.
Ashley can't do shellfish.
Hamstring.
So, last exercise, do your absolute best. Pull hard. Make this work. Make it work.
So no veto.
Yeah, so it'd be like more like shrimp, scallops, salmon, so anything fish, seafood.
That's
But yeah,
halfway.
right now she's not doing any meat. I know there's a Muslim butcher house in Minneapolis that they actually do the halal version of sacrifice for the meat. So
3,
there are
2,
options. It's just
1.
we're not.
Long rest.
All right. Well, very, very good, everyone. We are so happy that you were here, able to hang out with us for this workout. Remember, tomorrow we are going to do another core day. The whole point of the way it's set up, so I want you guys to really understand this. We do core on Monday because it's the foundation of all our movement. Tuesday is our upper body day, just figuring out our shoulders with the core. Wednesday, like today, we're doing our hips, our butt, our belly, and our bra strap, right? All 3 of those principles now are being applied. So Thursday, doing core day, is to reintegrate our core before our total body day. Okay, so make sure that you're here for that. Really important to keep that going. So nothing should be overtasked throughout the week. right?
I like it.
But you know, you might change and do some things different through the workout, and that's totally okay. All right. Please do remember to subscribe to the channel down here. Make sure that you get the notifications turned on, so that way you can continue to see and get these workouts. Remember, consistency over a prolonged period of time is where we will see change. I hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic day. We will pull up the SMR again for the upper leg. So work through that. Make sure you get the muscle tissue loosened up as much as possible, because it is all a part of helping you to move well so you live well.
The upper part of the leg is made up of 4 different muscles known as the quadricep. The quadricep is made up of the rectus femoris, being the most superficial muscle. The vastus medialis runs on the inside, the vastus lateralis runs on the outside, and the vastus intermedius runs deep directly under the rectus femoris. The 3 deepest muscles connect on the femur and just above the knee, whereas the rectus femoris passes from the ilium all the way over the kneecap into the tibia, passing 2 joints. Using a foam roller, work the front of the quad and into the side of the TFL band with the toe and knee against the wall. Start rolling the foam roller down the quad with your hands. If you feel a tender or tight spot, hold in that position and quickly press the roller back and forth over the tight spot. Gradually work your way down the entire front of the leg toward the knee. Continue to change positions, working through the front of the quad. When you feel a tender spot, maintain pressure and quickly jostle the massage stick up and down. Then transition to the side of the leg. With the foot against the wall, press the roller in the same manner, pushing it down the side of the leg. Try to relax the leg while the foam roller works into the muscle tissue. I find this to be the best release for my IT bands. Another way to work the quadriceps and the IT band is using the massage stick. Allowing the leg to relax, start with firm pressure just above the kneecap, dragging the pressure all the way up towards the hip. Change the position slightly and continue to pull up the quad. When you feel a tender spot that feels like a knot, you're going to apply pressure and shake it back and forth. Notice the rollers are not actually moving. The pressure just stays in one spot. When you finish about 30 pulses, continue the pull up the leg. If you find there's too much tension in the quad, straighten the knee and allow the leg to fully relax. This can help you get deeper into the tissue. Again, each time you find a tender spot, continue to relax into it. Create quick movements through the tender spots and finish with a pull up towards the hip. A more intense way to work the quads is laying in a plank position using a foam roller. In this position, you can roll up and down the quads looking for the most tender part. Once you find a tender part, bend the knees and then relax down slowly. Then flex into the foam roller by straightening your knees tight. After you complete 7 to 10 repetitions there, draw circles with the feet, both clockwise and counterclockwise. Relax and breathe, adjusting as necessary, making sure you relax the quad. The final and most intense work we're going to do is with the lacrosse ball. Laying on your stomach, use a book under the lacrosse ball. Place the lacrosse ball directly on the quadricep. You may have to move the ball around to find a few different spots that are tender. When you find the most tender ones, bend the knee, allowing the muscle to stretch, and then straighten the knee, contracting the muscle over top of the lacrosse ball. Continue this for 7 to 10 repetitions. When you find a spot that needs extra attention, get yourself a little more comfortable, allowing your head to rest. Change positions by rotating the leg in or out based on the type of work that you need. To work more medially, simply roll your body over, exposing more of the inside of the leg.